My name is Natalie. I'm 34 years old and a homemaker. It's been 5 years since I married my spouse, Isaac. Isaac and I reside in an apartment about a 10-minute drive from his parents' house, and we don't have any kids yet. I expected to have children as soon as we married, but after 5 years of marriage, we still don't have any. My husband wouldn't say much about it. He loves children, and I can see he is dissatisfied with our predicament. I wanted to do something about it, so I visited the OBGYN clinic and spoke with them. And I underwent reproductive treatment as instructed by the clinic. Then, a few months later, I got pregnant. My husband was ecstatic when he found out I was pregnant. I was also overjoyed that we could finally have a baby. Of course, the birth of our own child was the primary reason for my excitement, but there was something else. My mother-in-law was concerned. Eleanor has been tormenting and picking on me since Isaac and I were first married. Oh, Natalie, you're not very good at cooking, huh? It's so bland that I'm not sure what I'm eating. I can't taste anything you've cooked. I feel sad for Isaac, who has to eat everything you cook, Natalie. However, if it is very salty or has a strong flavor, it will not be nutritious. What? Are you trying to say that everything I cooked for Isaac is bad? And no, that's not what I intended. Isaac would constantly tell me that anything I made for him was great, and he would eat it all. Oh, I can see how Isaac would be unhappy to have a wife like you. This kind of abuse from Eleanor was an everyday occurrence, and what's more, she specifically tormented me for not being able to get pregnant with children. When will I be able to visit my grandchildren? Natalie, if you are unable to conceive, your value as a woman is greatly diminished. Do you suppose I had Isaac within my first year of marriage with my husband? You know Isaac loves children, don't you? I'm extremely curious why Isaac married someone like you. Eleanor's constant bullying had mentally tortured me, and I reasoned that if I could at least have a baby, she would be less inclined to torment me as a wife. So I was relieved to learn that I was pregnant, since it would ease some of my tension. Although Eleanor was pleased to learn of my pregnancy, her harassing continued. Natalie, I heard you've been slacking on your housework recently. I've also heard that you make Isaac do housework on certain days. I apologize, I hadn't been feeling well throughout my pregnancy. So that is why Isaac is assisting me. Eleanor's claim that I am forcing Isaac to do the housework is incorrect, as my husband took the initiative to assist me with the household chores out of concern for my health. However, my husband, being a bit of a mama's boy, tends not to support me in front of Eleanor. Poor Isaac. Isaac finds himself juggling work and household chores. Thank you, Mom. You are the only one who understands how difficult it is for me, Mom. Poor Isaac. For the most part, when I was pregnant, I did not get sick or neglect housework as you did. I didn't have the energy to listen to Eleanor's continual tormenting of me. Then I realized it was too much to be with Eleanor and my husband. Therefore, I made the decision to return to my parents' home before giving birth. Our child was born in my hometown. I first spent around 3 months at my parents' house, and I was shocked at how much tension I could relieve simply by being away from Eleanor and Isaac. My mother's cuisine, which I hadn't had in a long time, was amazing, and I was able to spend some peaceful time there, which was extremely relaxing. Then our baby, Gavin, was born. He's a pretty cute boy. Then, after giving birth, I returned home to show my husband our beautiful child as quickly as possible. I'm home. Oh, Eleanor, why are you here? I'm not sure why, but my mother-in-law Eleanor was sitting in the living room when I returned home for the first time since leaving. What do you mean by why? What are you actually saying? You know, this is now my home too. Huh? I had no idea what Eleanor meant. What do you mean? I've been asserting that I currently reside here. Excuse me. I had no idea what Eleanor meant. Why are you living here now, Eleanor? You understand that it's because you abandoned Isaac. What? People rarely return to their hometowns to give birth. Unless they're really sick. I was quite ill, and it was all because of you. Eleanor, you understand that if you leave Isaac alone, he will be completely alone. So that's why I came here and moved in with Isaac, so he wouldn't be alone. After Eleanor explained that she had moved in, I looked around the living room and noticed Eleanor's personal items in various places. Then the front door opened. Apparently, my spouse went shopping. I'm home. Oh, Natalie, welcome home. Hey, I did not hear that. Eleanor currently lives in this house, right? Oh, yes. Oh, I forgot to tell you that while you were back home, Mom came over frequently, and we had a room available, so I invited her to live with me for a time. I assumed it would be easier for a mom because she wouldn't have to drive here all the time. I decided it would be a good idea for her to live with me here. So that was until I completed giving birth to our baby, right? Now that I'm back with our kid, your mother will return to her own apartment, correct? No, I believe she'd stay a little longer, correct? Is it difficult for you to be alone after giving birth? No, I'll be okay actually. Me? Oh, Natalie, you are a terrible person. Are you attempting to kick me out? What? Oh, is that what you were trying to accomplish? Hey, she's my mother, so please take better care of her. No, that's not what this is about, is it? Then my husband became annoyed and angry. That is enough. If you don't like my idea, then leave this house. Excuse me. Yeah, it is correct. As long as I have my grandchild, you have no need to be Isaac's wife. So you should just go home to your family. As you may guess, what Eleanor said infuriated me. Okay, I understand. I'm tired of you guys pushing me around, so I will leave. Yes, you should do so. However, leave Gavin alone. I beg your pardon. Why should I do that? Isn't it obvious? Gavin is my precious grandchild. My child holds a special place in my heart as I gave birth to him at great personal cost. But he is also my son, so he's also my son. Please leave him to us. No way. You are truly a selfish, spoiled wife. As Eleanor and Isaac attempted to take my son away from me, I hurried out of the room and joined Gavin outside the apartment. Hey, wait. My husband was chasing me and yelling, so I yelled and exclaimed, "Ah, please help me." This occurred at midday on the weekend. There were many people present, and others gathered around us to observe the unfolding events. People around me began to stand in front of my husband as if they were protecting me. My husband then started to explain. No, I'm her husband, but no matter what Isaac tried to say, he was at a complete loss. My spouse had no choice but to leave and come home. I thanked those who had saved me and quickly took a cab to my parents' home. My parents had just driven me back to my apartment, and they were startled to see me back at their place. But when I told them what had happened, they both became very upset. They even instructed me to file for divorce from Isaac right away. I immediately went to the municipal office to pick up the divorce papers and delivered them to Isaac and Eleanor's residence. My spouse contacted me a few days later, so I assumed he received the divorce papers. Hey, what is the meaning of this? I disagree with this divorce, so why not? You were the one who forced me out of the residence in the first place. I was just trying to show you that I am the head of this household. Excuse me. Please refrain from expressing your belief that husbands are superior to wives. No, that's what Mom advised me to say. You obey Eleanor in almost everything, don't you? Mama's boys like you are quite irritating. My husband found the comment offensive. Excuse me. How dare you say that? I'm just trying to take care of Mom. So don't you dare label me a mama's son. Then simply sign the divorce papers. Fine, I will sign it. Then my husband signed the papers and the divorce was final. I was ready to battle for custody of our son after that, but my husband backed down quickly. I did observe, however, that when my husband stated that he did not want custody, his expression was a little odd. Since then, nearly a year has passed. I wanted to raise my son well as a single mother, so following the divorce, I interviewed with every employer I could find and worked hard for the one that hired me full-time. I moved back in with my folks, so I was able to have my mother care for Gavin, which was quite helpful. Watching Gavin grow up day by day was a blessing in itself, and it was quite therapeutic. I should have left my ex-husband earlier and found happiness on my own. While I was thinking about this, my ex-husband unexpectedly arrived at my parents' place. I hadn't seen my ex-husband for a long time, and he appeared weary and dead. When he saw me, he remarked, "I am very sorry. Please forgive me." He got down on his knees. I let him in temporarily because several neighbors were staring at us. "What on earth do you want? Is Gavin here? He's in the bedroom with my mother. Will you allow me to carry him? I had never carried my own son before." "Huh? You're the one who gave up custody of Gavin so quickly. So what are you talking about? You're up to something, right? Did Eleanor send you here? I won't let you carry him because I don't want him taken away or anything. No way. I wanted to take Gavin with me, but Mom advised me to give up on custody. She stated that it would be too much for us to take Gavin in because he was also your son, and I couldn't disagree with her because her decision was final. However, the anguish and pain of not being able to see my own son were becoming increasingly intense. I couldn't bear it anymore and decided to come here today. My ex-husband appeared to be telling the truth. My father was also home. So for the time being, my father and I closed the door and allowed my son to meet Isaac while we both watched over them. My ex-husband was impressed to see Gavin sleeping soundly. Oh, he is so adorable. My ex-husband was in tears while holding his son in his arms. He's so cute. Because of his abusive mother, he had never seen his own son. I felt sorry for him, so I invited him to visit me, my parents, and Gavin at my parents' house for the time being, as long as we were all present. Hearing this, my ex-husband repeatedly thanked us before leaving. Following that, my ex-husband would come over once a month to see our son. Even Isaac was gradually getting better. Eleanor unexpectedly showed up at our parents' house one day while my ex-husband was visiting. My ex-husband was equally taken aback by the sudden arrival of his own mother. "Mom, why? I assumed you were sneaking out somewhere, but I can't believe you came here to see this chick." To find where you were, I used the GPS app I installed on your phone. Eleanor did truly stun us. How could she go so far to accomplish that? "We're going home right away. You should not see this woman again." "No way." "Mom, I'm tired of your constant presence in my life. You never leave my home." "So what exactly do you tell Dad about this?" "Well, you and Andrew have been divorced for a long time, correct?" "What? Hey, how could you even know that?" "I learned this from Isaac's younger sister, Brooklyn. I asked her about your relationship with Andrew." "I do not know." "Eleanor, it appears that you spend a lot of time with Isaac, and he appears to grow tired of your company." As a result, Brooklyn told me something startling. "There is a biological connection between Isaac, you, and Andrew. Did you know that?" "What?" "You are Eleanor's son, as well as the man with whom she had an affair." "She hid her affair and married Andrew." "No way." Dad became enraged when he discovered this and kicked Mom out. "That is why Mom has been with me the entire time." "Huh? Mom, how could you possibly lie to me about this?" "Isaac, that's not it." "Isaac, I adored your biological father and cherish you more than anybody else." "Shut up. Dad, who raised me, is my genuine father, and I don't want to assume you're my mother, hiding these things. I do not want to see you ever again. I want you to pick up your belongings and leave my house right now." And with that, my former husband remarked to us, "I'm sorry for bothering you. Please excuse us today." I left the house with Eleanor. After that, Isaac kicked Eleanor out of his house. She now finds herself compelled to lead a humble life in a solitary apartment, cut off from her entire family. Isaac feels more respectable now that he is no longer with Eleanor. That does not mean Isaac and I will reconcile, but I will continue to have Isaac make an effort to be present for my son. Even if he failed as a husband, I believed he deserved a shot at being a decent father to his son. I will continue to work hard while raising my son with love and affection.